welcome back to LARK Running UK. I'm in one of my favourite places, back on the trails. It's dried up a little bit. There's a few muddy patches still, but that's all part of the fun. But yeah, back on the trails, back where I like to be the most. And today we're going to cover my 5 top tips for trail running. I know it's not for everyone. A lot of people are road runners. And they only do that, nothing else. Even my own brother doesn't really like trail running. I've tried my best to encourage him, but hopefully if you're considering trail running or you've never considered it but you're curious to know, here are my 5 top tips on how to approach trail running, how to get the most from it, and probably why I think it's better than road running most of the time. So let's get a bit more rundown and cover my 5 top tips. Yes, so I'm back on the trails. Weather's dried up a little bit now. It's spring in the UK, so it's not a complete mud bath. There are some wet patches, but again, don't mind that. Shoes are already covered, but that's part of the fun. It's just when it's a complete mud bath and you can barely move. That's not really running for me, so I always like to run the trails mainly spring and summer, maybe a little bit into the autumn, and then throughout the winter I just basically steer clear. And yeah, I appreciate now, but it's not trail running, it's not for everyone. Some people just don't like it, don't get on with it. Other people's are avid fans of it and just do trail running, fell running. I'm a bit of both. I like trails, I like roads. In terms of racing, I'm running in both, but I do have a preference for trail, and here are the reasons why. So yeah, tip number 1 for trail running: slow down. So it might not be for everyone's taste, but for me, trail running, because of the general rules of trail running, in terms of there's generally more elevation gain, there's generally dodgier settings underfoot. Like I said, there's more hills, more undulations, gates and stiles, all those above. Plus you're just running in this kind of setting as opposed to a busy main road, pavement, etc. So tip number 1 is just slow down. You've got the opportunity to do so, almost the excuse to do so. I generally don't try and come out on a trail run and set a PB in anything. It's just a nice enjoyable run, strengthens the legs, running on soft mud, gravel, whatever it might be. And also it gives you an excuse to slow down, not worry about pace, not worry about time or effort, just enjoy it. So that's tip number 1. If you're going to go trail running, don't try and PB, just get out, enjoy it and slow down. Point number 2, I've just kind of touched upon it there, is enjoy it. So again, because you've got the opportunity to slow down, for me I put less pressure on myself, less kind of goals or targets, just come out and enjoy it. So yeah, enjoy the fact that you can just run at a comfortable pace, run with someone else if you can, have a chat whilst you're running. Like I said, so just basically enjoy it. You get the opportunity to slow down, there's very nice things to see. Like I said, there's often wildlife, scenery, and it's just a peace and quiet, unless I'm running down the trail at the same time talking to a camera. But yeah, generally it's peaceful. You can think of other things or think of nothing at all. I say I tend to come out on trail runs, and it generally, it's almost like a meditation for me. It calms me, resets me, clears my head. Just get to come out and enjoy the trails. So that's number 2, enjoy it. And like I said, it's not for everyone, but up until a couple of years ago I never really did trail running, never really considered it. But once I did it, I did see the benefit and the beauty of it. So if you've never tried it, give it a go. You might just like it more than you do road running, with all the pressure and time, goals that people set for themselves. So yeah, number 1, slow down. Number 2, enjoy it. Tip number 3, if you're new to trail running, especially if you're going to go further afield and try and run longer distances on trails, is Bring supplies if required. So yeah, if you're on a warm day or you're going say more than 10k, 6 miles, generally if you're going on the trails, generally take like a hydration vest or a bit of nutrition, a gel or a bit of food, whatever, if required. Like I said, I'm going for like a 10-12 today, but it's quite cool. I've brought nothing with me. I'm okay for this Kappa run, but again, because you're starting to go off the beaten track, you don't want to be caught short and be dehydrated or lacking in energy. And here's one of the fun bits of trail running. Halfway down the route there's a fallen tree, but guess what, I'm in no rush. I'm not setting a PB today, so I can simply become a child, climb a tree and carry on. That'll be one of my other points later on, but yeah, remember the tree. But yeah, number 3 is bring supplies. Don't be going out there off the beaten track, up hills and, like I say, down valleys or wherever you want to go. Like I say, away from civilization to some extent, and bring supplies. So generally hydration and nutrition, but also again, I've got my phone on me today just in case if I happen to roll an ankle or trip and stumble. I've got a way of contacting someone. If you're say a mile away from, I say, a main road, or being able to flag anybody down, that can be a hell of a journey when you've got only one working leg. So yeah, it's bringing the essentials and the supplies if needs be, water, nutrition, and a way of contacting someone in case of emergencies. That's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is explore. So I like to, the best bit about trail running for me, it's just my opinion, but is the fact you get to explore. I get to run in places where maybe 1 or 2 other people that day have run that in that area or on that route, or maybe even no one at all has run there that day or that week. And the further you explore, the more you go off the beaten track and you find these hidden gems or paths that no one's really found for a while. Or like I say, there can be public footpaths in the UK. There's a lot of them that you probably not even aware of. I'll cut to myself now. Okay, so here's a perfect example. So I run up and down this road all the time. A lot of people just run up and down the main road, down the pavement like you would. If you just look out for a little public footpath sign or bridleway, this one, then suddenly off the beaten track and much more enjoyable, much quieter, much more fun to run than just running down the main road next to all the traffic. Yes, that's just one example. I said drop in the comments if it's different in other countries, but in the UK you've got public footpaths, public right of way, bridleways, canal towpaths, etc. But mainly the public footpaths and the rights of way and bridleways, they're often across fields, even through the middle of a farm, alongside motorways or highways sometimes. And it's, I say, it's public land, open to the public, can't be restricted. You can't block it or close it at any point. So like I say, I go on kind of an ordnance survey, or just type in public footpaths UK, and you can go on a map of the UK, zoom into your area, and it shows you all the bridleways, public footpaths. And like I say, often hidden away. I say a little tiny green sign showing you where the entrance is, but again, you could probably walk past it, drive past it, run past it on a regular occurrence, and you might never know they're there. So go and explore is tip 4. So yeah, go and explore. You're not limited by pavements or the way the road bends or turns. As if you're on a field, yes, there is a route that you can generally stick to, but again, there's no one really going to police if you're running across the middle of the field, etc. Or like I say, find a new path that maybe has been hidden away for a while or no one's really found it for a while. Like I say, I love to explore, and again, don't worry about having to double back or getting lost or hitting a fallen tree like before, or a flood or whatever. That's all part of the fun. Again, as long as you've got your phone with you, you'll always be able to pull up a map on your phone and find your way back to civilization. I did that not all that long ago. I was in a woodland, came off the main path, kind of similar to this, found kind of a smaller side path, followed that, went off on another branch onto another smaller side path, and eventually the path just disappeared and I was in the middle of a woods. Not all that big, but big enough that I couldn't find my way out. And yeah, I got my phone out, found maps, worked my way through the undergrowth and found my way back to civilization. But that's what I love to do, explore. Yeah, there's a bit more freedom. That's why I love trail running, and no one's going to restrict you. No one can tell you where to go. You go where you want, when you want, and you get that bit more, I say, that feeling of freedom, and you can explore. I said, don't be afraid of getting lost, taking a wrong turn. That's all part and parcel of trail running for me. And tip number 5 for trail running is, for me, stop and taking your surroundings. Again, like I mentioned earlier, they slow down and they enjoy it. There's no time pressures, there's no gun, there's no chip timing. You can do trail races obviously, but in terms of just trail running, which is kind of what today's about, you can, obviously, right now I'm just on a kind of a cut through path in a fairly urban environment, but again, if you're up a hill with a view at the top, there's absolutely nothing wrong with stopping at the top to take in a view. If you see a bench along the route, again, take a seat, have a rest, take a bit of fuel on board, make a half a day of it if you have to. But yeah, there's no issues with stopping on trail running. Like I say, it's not really as intense or pressurised. I'll just heed my own warning. Yeah, you get to somewhere and there's quite something to see, so generally wildlife, scenery, countryside, peace and quiet. Well, like I said, there's absolutely nothing wrong with stopping, taking a breath. I'm not looking at my watch, to be fair, when I'm trail running. You can't see because I paused it, but I don't even have my pace displayed. It's irrelevant. Am I running a 5-minute K, a 4-minute K, a 6-minute K? Who cares? For trail running, that's why I completely switch off from paces and times, and I literally just enjoy it. So yeah, tip 5, stop, enjoy it, take your surroundings. Well, enjoy it was point 2, but yeah, stop and take in your surroundings. If you're lucky enough to run in far more scenic places than this semi kind of urban environment I have to run in, which is close to home, but I try to venture out, get on the sandstone trail down to Delmere, Helsby, Frodsham, more rural areas, and run through better trails. But again, that takes a bit more effort. But yeah, on your doorstep there will be trails you can run on, and if you're lucky enough to run in somewhere a bit more picturesque than where I am, again, there's nothing wrong with stopping. Like I said, taking in your surroundings, bit of nature. Normally there's a bit of wildlife, animals, cows, etc. to stop, photograph, whatever, just chill. So that's tip number 5, and I've got one extra kind of bonus hint or tip. And yeah, so yeah, just one final bonus tip. If you are going to go trail running, I mean, maybe if you do it in the middle of the summer when everything's kind of bone dry, you could probably get away with road shoes. But the one essential thing I would say I would just stop and show you, I would recommend getting yourself some proper trail shoes. The only difference is you get better lugs at the bottom, a bit more tread. This is what you're going to look like at the end of a trail run, by the way. Generally, even if it's bone dry, you always find a muddy patch. So yeah, I would just invest in some proper trail shoes. Don't try and do kind of like today, try to do this in some really fancy fast road shoes. One, you're going to wreck them, and 2, they'll be no good because again the grip up probably won't be there. You'll be slipping and sliding, which can be more fun, but you might well run into an injury and slip and roll your ankle or knock a joint out of shape. So yeah, that's the main one. You could obviously invest in a hydration vest or belt if you start getting into it. Like I said, you're going further afield and you want to take some essential supplies, but mainly trail shoes, better grip. Generally you can have waterproof uppers, so again your feet don't get completely cold and wet on the wetter days on the trails, and generally you get a bit more toe protection, so if you kick a tree stump or a rock or a stone or something, your toes are generally a bit more protected. So they're the main benefits. I would just invest in a pair of trail shoes. Don't have to be all singing or dancing, just better grip underneath and a bit more protection for the foot. and that's basically it. Yeah, and they're my top tips for trail running. Drop in the comments if you trail run. Do you run purely on roads? Do you run on trails? Have you tried trail running? Are you considering it? But yeah, drop in the comments if you've done it, if you've not done it, and as to reasons why. I say I do both: road running, road racing, trail running. And actually I've just booked a trail race for later in the year, so in the middle of my marathon training, as part of the training, I wanted to get a bit more vertical gain, a bit more hills in my training, which again is still one of my weaknesses. I booked a trail half marathon, I think it's in July, so look out for that later in the year. I'll vlog that race. But again, it's a trail race, so I'll just be taking it easy, enjoying the race as it is, no goal or time pressures. But yeah, drop in the comments if you trail run and why you do it. But yes, probably is my preference still over road running. I do like a good road race, granted, but for me it's all about the balance again, and I like both. But if you offered me one or the other, I'd probably take the trail. So yeah, if you've never done it, get out and try it. Let me know what you think. If you do it and you hate it, come back on here and let me know in the comments. But yeah, for me, all those benefits: peace and quiet, things to see, exploration. You can slow down and enjoy it a bit more. But that's just my opinion. But as always, thanks for watching. On the flip side, the half marathon training series will continue. I'll drop a few more workout vlogs over the next couple of weeks. Look out for those. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you all on the next one.